Okay, so we will get started. Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Few things today. Just going to go over a couple important reminders that we will then go over more next time, but just to give folks a heads up. And then we will go into the main point about clarifications, website, newsletters, basic overview. Those were two of like the biggest ones I got in my poll that's in all the newsletters about what people would like to see. So I'm going to try to do both of those. Do we have any new clubs, club presidents, club leaders that want to, introduce themselves? Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Meryl Perry. I'm from the La Mesa Foothills Democratic Club, and I'm looking forward to working with everybody. I've never been to one of these, so this is going to be interesting. I just stopped being the secretary of our club, so this is going to be a joy. I don't have to take notes.
I feel that I've been secretary for a few different boards. All right, anybody else? I don't think I see any other hands raised. So, okay. Moving forward. So a few important reminders. We do have annual club chartering coming up in November. It's after the election, so you got some time, but just wanted to put that in people's heads, and we'll go over this a bit more in our October meeting. And I'm actually not sure that they've put up a new chartering form. I think it's still the one for 2022, which works for mid-year charters, but they might be making a new one for next year. So I'm going to check with staff on that. But just a heads up, get started thinking about that. And then it's almost time for Club of the Year nominations again. We do vote at the January meeting. We usually don't meet in December, so that's, stuff's coming up close. Again, I'll go over this more next time, but actually let me see. I'll put this link. I already made a nomination form if anyone's interested. I'm going to put that link in the chat here. I will also email it out, so you don't need to worry. But basically, hold on here. Club of the Year. This is I put 2022, but it's 2023. So basically, for anyone who's not familiar, there's a nominating committee of the last 5 years of winning clubs, generally who are ineligible this year, but they will kind of, the idea is they will review nominations. So, assessing, what has been provided about clubs, and the actual council itself will vote on the list of clubs that come up in January. So, generally clubs do a year-end report and like a PowerPoint or something talking about the meetings they've held, their membership levels, their participation in the elections, voter registration, what type of programming they've had, like anything else that you think, would be something you want to brag about, basically. So, or you could do PDF applications as well. And you don't need to submit that right now. If someone other than, your club officers nominate you, we'll let you know in case you then want to provide information. And again, you don't need to memorize this. I'll send it out, and it's on our council club website as well. Just something to be thinking about. Okay, go back to my slideshow. Does anyone have any questions about this? Again, we're going to go over more next meeting, but I think I see any hands. Great. I don't think I saw, well, let me double check. Usually if we just have any party officers or elected officials that want to say anything. I think I see anyone or any hands. So we'll go ahead. Right, and then just a reminder, this is our club development committee right now. We do have a few relatively new officers that stepped up, not officers, committee members that stepped up after others, had to, for various reasons, but technically everyone's going to be voting on these again in January, so heads up on that. So yeah, each area elects their own, and then the council clubs vote on the at-large. And again, congratulations to Sonara, who is elected to fill one of the at-large vacancies we had last month. And then just a heads up here, our general election is coming up. A reminder, so we discussed voter registration last time, but just if anyone's interested in participating, National Voter Registration Day is on the 20th, which I think is like Tuesday. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Tuesday. And then early October, the Registrar of Voters begins mailing ballots. And then early voting also begins there at the registrar. You can do it in person, or you can use the ballot drop boxes. And then we do have the voter registration deadline, October 24th. However, as we discussed last time, we now have conditional voter registration after that, where folks can go into a vote center or the registrar of voters and conditionally register and provisionally vote, which basically just means, once the registrar has a chance to review the registration and confirm that it's valid, then they will go ahead and count the provisional ballot. So it is, if folks wait until after this deadline, they'll have to do it in person. So we still want to recommend folks get in before then if they need to register or update their registration. Again, more info in the recording and the slides from the last meeting, which are up on Google Drive for the slides and YouTube for the recording. And then we do have the vote centers open end of October, again, replacing the polling places we had. So folks can go in to the vote centers are almost like satellite, mini registrar of voters. So there's a lot more that they can do there. And you don't need to just go to your polling place. And then of course, election day on November 8th, coming up real soon. And then the deadline for mail ballots that were postmarked by election day to be received on the 15th. You can find this information online as well, just, a little refresh here. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the discussion about communications, especially websites and newsletters, and I'm gonna go through and try to do some demonstrations of this, so bear with me. First thing, this is gonna come into play with the others, with the website and the newsletter. So I just want to touch on about it a little bit. Email accounts for your club. We definitely recommend that you create one or more email accounts specifically for your club rather than using individual president or officers' own emails. It's really helpful for tracking purposes, making sure things aren't missed, and also when you switch over different leadership, there's continuity there of seeing things that had come in previously. So usually what folks do when they're first starting out is making a free Gmail account for your club, such as xyzdems@gmail.com. You might find when you're trying to do this that a name has already been taken. I've found that out when I've tried to help a lot of school clubs create email accounts. Because maybe someone else did it way back in the day and stopped using it. So just keep trying until you can find something Again, it's free for Gmail, and that's kind of like what folks typically use. You may be interested in making ones for each officer. So, you could do, for the Young Dems, we have SDCYD president at Gmail, SDCYD comms at Gmail, etc. And that way we each have our own to work with. And again, it helps make sure, nothing's missed that gets, put into your, I don't know about you, but I get hundreds of emails a day to my personal email. So things can get missed. And then once that's kind of like the basic level. Once you expand, you might be interested in paying for a domain name, which we'll talk more about, but you can then get email addresses that correspond to that domain name, such as for Young Dems, we have, president sdyoungdems.com, secretary sdyoungdems.com, etc. It's just, it looks a little more professional, put together. We'll talk a little more about that. But for websites, there are free web hosting service providers. Those include some common ones: WordPress, Weebly, Wix. These are all great for folks that don't have any professional coding skill, myself included, but they allow you to kind of customize it using more user-friendly features. And WordPress is one that I've helped like some student groups set up. And you can see here, like this one, echsdems.wordpress.com. This is basically the free URL you get when you have the free version of WordPress. If you do want to buy domain name later, you can switch it to, xyzdems.com. There are other paid options that give a bit more, features and flexibility. I myself am a big fan of Squarespace. I personally found, in my opinion, that it's the most user-friendly, but it does have a cost. I think for the clubs we use it for, it's about in the range of like $200 a year. So, that's also an option, and I'll kind of show you some of these. Like I said, many will give you a free domain like xyz.wordpress.com or .squarespace.com when you do a free trial for Squarespace, but you can also purchase a plan with these sites. You can also purchase domains directly. You can purchase domains through these web hosting services, which again are the design host basically of what your website looks like. The domain, the URL, xyzdems.com. You can either purchase with them or through sites like godaddy.com. I'm gonna go and show you an example here. Here's just like a very basic example of a website, right? This one was one I helped create for the El Camino High School Dem Club a few years ago. You can do homepage, talk about your board, link to sign up for members. This one was just, we put in a Google form, embedded it onto the website. That's pretty easy to do with these sort of web hosting services. And it just gives you some flexibility to, put a bunch of information on your website, link social media. Oh, I forgot. Another option that we've discussed here is things like Linktree, which is what we use, or I use for council clubs. So Linktree, Dem clubs. So you can see here, this isn't technically like what people think of as a website, but it kind of is. You can share this link, and then you just have some basically quick links to whatever else you need: social media, subscribe, recordings, whatever, and you can group them chartering info, endorsement info, other resources. And this is something you can do for your clubs. I think a couple clubs have mentioned to me that they've set one of these up too. It's free and super user friendly to edit. So if you are really just starting out, this is something that might interest you. Linktree was kind of like the first company that did this, but there are some other options, link in bio, direct.me, that do the same thing. And there's this newer one called Milkshake, which is a little more, lets you customize it. I haven't used it yet, but I've seen some good ones. Again, it just lets you keep everything in one place. You can link it on your social media. For those, we discussed social media, I think at our July meeting. You might recall that Instagram doesn't let you put links in your posts, unlike Facebook and Twitter. So usually people will say, go to the link in the bio for the club account, and then it'll have one website. So in that way you can click it. Let me see if I can show you. Actually, we do this for our Young Dems Club as well. So you have here our Instagram account, and then where it says website, we actually have our link tree, because it just makes it a lot easier than linking the whole website. That way folks can, if you're using on your mobile phone, your cell phone, you can click these buttons a lot more easily. And of course, I think we linked our actual website down here. So those are some options. Does anyone have any questions about those? Linda, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, I've resisted putting a sign up for our newsletters on our website because I'm afraid of some kooky people signing up. And I noticed you have it on your link tree.
Mhm.
Have you had any problems?
Nope, we have not. So yeah, there's always that risk, but unless there's like a really specific reason for someone, there's only so much someone can do from signing up for your newsletter anyway. Like, what are they gonna do? I don't know, email you. But yeah, I haven't personally had any issues with this or with other clubs that I've helped set up things like that. So yeah, I would recommend having on there if you can. Oh, I was also going to show you, for anyone that's interested, this is the back end, like the internal view of Squarespace. This is what I use for our Young Dems website. You can see on the left, it might be kind of small. Let me zoom in a bit. You can see, this is our homepage where you can edit. We have a list of all the links on the left here. And it's super user friendly, in my opinion. I have done a few of these, but you can go in, click edit, and you don't need any coding experience at all. You can click add section. They have a bunch of templates you can use. Do you want to make a contact form or contact page? They have all these set up. You can edit. You can, oops, hold on. Let me go here. This is our endorsements page. So whenever we do endorsements, you can go edit, and just like you would type in other stuff, you can add, hold on, get out of it. Add, I want to add a button, I want to add, an image, quote. If you do want to embed something with code, like I think we have a Google form embedded somewhere, usually Google, it'll like generate code for you. You don't need to do anything with it. You just plug it in and it it's there. So, you know, there's a lot of options. Again, I haven't used WordPress in a bit, but most of the, you know, Weebly, WordPress, Wix, it's this sort of web hosting where it's more user friendly. You can kind of, you know, go through and just put things where you want them, no coding needed. So I'm gonna not save whatever I just did here. And Squarespace again is one that you have to pay for, but you know, they do some pretty generous, like 6-month free trials last I checked. So, you know, you can take a look at that, but I'm, you know, a little biased because I've just gotten used to using this and I think it's great. So, okay, back to this. Let's see, I have a couple chats here. Paula asks, will you share a list of these different resources and documents with us? Yeah, these slides are going to be available, and the recording will be. This is also, most of this information is on the Council Club's website. So if you go, or the link tree, sorry. Sorry. So here's the link tree for Council Clubs. If you go down here to resources, we do have this Council Club's website and resources. And then you click, oh my gosh. I think my Zoom remote is, there we go. Okay. So you can see there's a bunch of info here. This was originally created by John, and I've been updating it with info too. So a lot of this information is on this web page as well. If you want to check it out, there's info about not just communications, but like, you know, everything you might be interested in. So again, that is on the Council of Clubs link tree. Resources, Council Club website and resources. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, back to this. Newsletters. So most clubs send them out monthly. I think a lot of the student ones do it weekly because they usually meet weekly, but generally monthly, 2 weeks prior to meetings, especially if you're doing endorsements. Generally, the party rules, you need to notice your members 2 weeks. So that's just what people generally do. You know, you'll want to include info about upcoming club meetings, other, you know, social events. You can link to, if you make a Facebook event, like we went over at our July meeting, folks in RSVP on there. You can include links to your social media and just, you know, photos of your group, events that you've had, other interests, you know, things that they might be interested in. Again, there are several free services that can help you have like a nice custom newsletter. The most common ones are MailChimp and Constant Contact. Again, very user-friendly and free to an extent. MailChimp used to let you have up to 2,000 subscribers for free. Now I just looked it up and it's 500, which is like kind of rude, but that's definitely something I recommend. I've used a lot of clubs. This is MailChimp right here. I've logged into our old Young Gems account because we actually switched over to a different service. We actually use NGP now, which, if anyone's familiar, it's usually kind of expensive. It's usually used by campaigns, but we're trying to be fancy, I guess. So, but anyway, you know, you can make, they're called campaigns. That's just, you know, your campaign is your monthly newsletter for that month. So you can see here, edit design. again, Constant Contact has similar stuff. I haven't used it in a few years, so I don't, you know, but so you can have, you can see here, it's very editable. You can type, you know, a bunch of information here. You can add pictures, links. This is not a very fancy one. Let me go back and try to look at a different one. Again, we haven't used this one in like around a year because we switched, but let me see. This one look. We we put in a screenshot of some of our social media. We're okay. I know when I used to do comms, I made them a little fancier. Let me see if I can find an email about our virtual phone bank that we did for Dr. Akila Weber back in the day. This doesn't really, I was trying to find one that had more stuff on it, but I guess we just got a little lazy in what we put in there. Let me scroll some more and see here. Okay, well, you get the point. You can, let me go back and show how you can add stuff. So, design. Once this loads, okay, you can add, you know, text boxes, images, code if you want to, you don't have to, social media, you can add videos, you can add, they have a lot of templates. So this is a very basic template where it's just, you know, one column, one and done, but they have different templates where you can have like multiple columns and things to make it look a little fancier if you want to. You can do a preview to see what it would look like if someone was viewing it on their cell phone, which is a great feature as well. Oh, here we go, switch templates. You can see they have a lot of pre-selected things here if you want to make it look fancy. You don't have to make it fancy if you don't want to. But again, this is you know, a free service that a lot of folks use as their kind of first delving into that. I will say a lot of times I've seen clubs when they're first starting out doing just a regular email where you kind of CC or BCC all your club members' emails. And I would just note that, especially as you get bigger, that can be an issue. I've seen this happen where Google flags your email as spam, and then you might not be able to send emails for a while. So I would not recommend, you know, doing that long term. You can also set up what's called a Google group to send emails. I think it was ECDC that does this, where it kind of just creates a email list internally within Google, and then people can email back and forth, and it sends the email to everyone, so you can have kind of more of a discussion there. That's an option as well. Let's see. Does anyone have any questions? I kind of rushed through that a bit. Sonara's hand is raised.
Well,
go ahead.
I just wanted to say for the clubs that I work with, we use Google both for the site and to do the emails through Google Groups, and it just works really great because everything's integrated through Google. So because, you know, on Google Docs, we're storing our membership roster. That membership roster is then transferred right over to the Google Group. Google Groups don't have to allow you to have everybody. You can just have it so the administrators send out emails, and then when someone replies, it only goes to the administrator, just like any other service. So I've just found Google Sites and Google Groups because it's all Google, super user friendly, and so
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, and I'll add Google Sites to the list. I personally haven't used it, but yeah, that does sound user-friendly as well. And yeah, Tanara's right about, you can have it, if you don't want that sort of back and forth discussion, like I mentioned with, I believe ECDC has, you can set one up just so that only, club, officers, or even just the president or the communications person can send it. You may have seen we have a Google group, the party set up for Council of Clubs, that I think only I and the staff can email to. So, that's an option as well. But again, that's something that you want to set up internally that's different than the whole BCC thing, which I've seen create issues before. So yeah, I don't know. Does anyone want to share what else they might be using for these services and how that's been working for them? Sinara, was your hand raised from before? Did you want to add anything? No? Okay. Again, I think these are the most common ones, but there are definitely a lot more out there. It's just what I usually recommend to folks that I've, experienced being user-friendly. Does anyone in here not yet, I assume everyone here, their clubs at least have some sort of newsletter. Does anyone use a service different than the ones we've discussed for their newsletters? No? Pretty much covered. What about, oh, Paula's hand is raised?
Yeah, I wanted to share and kind of respond to your question, but we use our club, the Imperial Beach Democratic Club, uses constant comment.
Constant contact?
Constant contact, yeah. Constant comments at T. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, we do pay a charge. I think it's $20 a month that we've been paying for our service. And it's I believe pretty easy. I don't do the newsletter or the communications. I just know the other pieces. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. And sorry, you're La Jolla Dems, right?
No, Imperial Beach.
Oh,
Dems.
I'm sorry. Imperial Beach.
No,
okay.
No worries.
I misheard. Okay. Yeah, let me see. Oh my gosh, I somehow like maximize this window and Paula's taking my whole screen. There we go. Thank you for sharing that. I was gonna see if I can go in and just pull up one of the, I think I get all of the emails from all the clubs. Let's see. Is it this one? This one? This one? Yes. So this is an example. This is Imperial Beach Dems. And yeah, so similar features, I think, of being able to put in, text, logos, pictures, buttons, links. That's, yeah, constant contact. Cool. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't want to make you switch if you don't have to, but that's interesting that they make you pay $20 a month already, because usually, unless you have like over 500 or something people, you don't have to. It might be something to look at, but
I think our past club president, Anna Webb, set this up. And she was perhaps using it in constant contact already for, because I think it was connected somehow to her account, which is why we're paying a portion of it. I will find out. I'll follow up on that, because I didn't realize, I wasn't involved in all of it. And unfortunately, we are able to afford that charge, but I will follow up with our club e-board about it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
I
you.
know Anna was on our club development committee until she,
she's
stepped
a
aside to run.
candidate. Yes.
Yeah, until she stepped aside to run. But I know she is very experienced with all things communications and websites. So I'm sure she'd be able to talk to
Right.
you and help with that as well. But yeah,
Right.
thanks for
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks. What about websites? Does anyone have experience with any of the ones we discussed or different ones they want to mention?
We do MailChimp and it's super easy. Super, super, super easy.
For your newsletters? Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely been my experience. And that's why I usually recommend it to like the young Duns I work with. I see it. Oh, that's just, I'm gonna lower Paula's hand. Let's look, since I'm here, I can look at some of the other clubs' websites. Is the Imperial Beach Duns website. Okay, yep. So WordPress and GoDaddy.com. Yeah, I think WordPress is probably the most common one. I have used WordPress for things, and that's usually what I help students set up with, because again, it's pretty easy. But I just decided to invest in Squarespace because it was just easier for me. Anyone else want to share their experience with any of their services that they use? What about emails? Do you all have generally one email for your club? Have you looked into doing something a little more fancy? I will say so you can see here for my club, for the County Young Duns, we did set up originally Gmails. So this is secwdpresident@gmail.com. And we had the domain name purchased separately, not through Google, but that is an option. Google, I think it's like Google Workspaces. But what we ended up doing then was we set it up so that we can send ads. So you can see how I can email from the original Gmail account, but once I connected it to the domain, I now have the option to send as president@youngdems.com. Again, it just looks a little more professional, a little fancier. Definitely not necessary though. Kate said you use dem@alliance@gmail.com. All the officers have access. Yep, that makes sense. That's a good idea. And especially for like the continuity and making sure, everyone knows what's going on. I think that's a good idea as well. I think we all, I think I have, at this point, I think I have access to most of our officers' emails. I think that's just because I've held like almost every position in our club at this point. But yeah, so yeah, we have membership, VP, finance, so all right. Anyone else have anything that they want to share about their experience? If not, then we can be done. That was all I had on this topic. If anyone thinks of anything else that they would like to share with the group, we can add that into a follow-up newsletter. Oh, Meryl, go ahead. Oh, you're muted. Hold on. You're muted. Hold on. There you go.
I appreciate this topic, but I am so glad somebody else does it in our club, and he's brilliant. So I'm just so thankful. But
who's your communications person?
Mitch Wagner.
I'm sorry, what was it?
Mitch Wagner.
Oh, okay, I don't think I've met Mitch.
He is just wonderful at setting us up with all types of stuff. So, and so most of us don't even have to worry about anything. That's been the issue. If he ever leaves.
I was gonna say. You know, he needs to take on a mentee or someone, because you might not want to be in that position. But yeah. Oh, you know, one of the things I forgot to mention, I don't think I put it in here. For the newsletter, I didn't even mention, for Dem Clubs, we use Substack, which is also free. John originally set this up a few years ago for Dem Clubs, and I've just continued to use it, even though it was new to me, because I was like, oh, it's a new thing to learn. And again, it is pretty user friendly. There's less options for customization, but you know, you basically create a new post, you can copy over from your prior stuff. There's my edit button. Linda, I see your hand raised. Is that? Yeah, go ahead. Did you have a question?
Yeah, you know, we use WordPress for the free version for our website, and we get the Linex cPanels that gives us our email, and then we have to pay for 2 domains, but we have a thing called a managed SSL certificate, and my understanding that's you know, to prevent people from getting in and to the website and that sort of thing, and it also makes it possible for us to be on Google. And when you Google Democratic Club, Demco pops up. And once a week I get these this list of IP addresses that have attempted to get into our system.
Oh my gosh.
They're from Russia and United States, Azerbaijan, where, you know. So
Yeah.
and I guess we have to have it, but I just wanted to know, do you know anything? Do you have any words of wisdom for us on this?
On general security?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I will say the things you mentioned, I mean, I'm really not an expert in that sort of thing, but I think it's probably pretty standard when you purchase like a domain and that sort of thing. And these sort of web hosting services, I think often have that as well. But yeah, security,
I have a computer security expert on my left. Do you want to hear from him?
sure, if he has anything to add, that would be great.
This is regarding.
This is clubs.
SSL.
Do clubs need this level of security that they have that they're paying for?
In regards to security certificates that turn on HTTPS to your website, if you have a website, you should have this just because, one, it increases your search ranking. Google and other search engines put your page lower if you don't have a secure website. There are ways to get free websites, free security that requires a little bit of reading directions called Let's Encrypt. But most services like GoDaddy or WordPress will offer you an easy way to get that. And what it does is any information sent or to or from the server just means it gets encrypted. So that way no one in the middle can see what's going on.
So especially if they're entering
like
personal
voluntary information, like here's my number to contact me. They put that in when
or
they hit
dues
send,
payments.
Oh, if you have anything payment, it's actually required by law that you have that the page that takes information to be encrypted with a TLS certificate, SSL or TLS.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, that's my input.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah. And
Bring in a ringer.
just as we were saying this, I went to make sure my Young Guns Club is Yeah, like you said, I think generally these are options offered, if not just generally by default included when you know, get domain and website hosting services. Like, I don't remember telling them like, oh, I want my website secure, but it's part of the package. So Linda, you were saying that your club pays like, was it $400 a year for everything? And you're muted.
I was just looking at our list. We pay for 2 domains.
Mm,
You're both the .org and .com, so nobody else can get.
yeah.
We use
Smart.
the .org. And then we pay for the Linux cPanel. And the SSL certificate. And that's about $400 a year.
I feel like, I mean, I'm not an expert, but I feel like that's a little high. I think for our stuff for Young Dems, we're at about $250 a year. But I also am I don't even know what the words Linux cPanel escaped me for. So I don't.
How involved is your website for Demco?
Oh,
Like how much stuff is on there? Is it a lot of stuff?
I don't think so, but well, the SSL certificate, oh, there you go, is the most expensive, $200 a year, and then Linux is like 150, and then the 2 domains are not that expensive.
So I've had my hand up, so I'm just gonna speak.
Yeah, go ahead.
So first, in addition to the encryption value and the value for shopping and all of that, there are some servers, depending upon where someone is accessing your website from, that will not even allow them to pull your website up if it is not SSL. The other part, though, in terms of the fees, you know, it might be worthwhile for you to shop different domain registries and different hosts, because the fees can range. And a lot of times the people that have the higher fees advertise more aggressively because they know that people that don't know are going to just go to them because they're the first ones that come up on the search engine. So it might be worthwhile if you have someone who can do that, just to look at what the cost is before you renew it. But yeah, you absolutely want to have SSL, because otherwise some people will be trying to find your website and it won't even show up on their computer.
Yeah, but I think the $200 just for the SSL sounds not.
It sounds extraordinarily high.
Yeah. That's what-
I have brought back my expert.
Hi. In regards to SSL TLS, yeah, the $200 sounds like that would be on a level of a wildcard certificate where you have multiple subdomains. It'd be like www.yourdomain, sales.yourdomain.
But what did you say about the
But
Linux?
if Kate and I overheard that someone is like running Linux, so that means that like you're renting a server. There is a service out there that is backed by companies like Cisco and Google, called Let's Encrypt, and it provides free SSL certificates where you have to change them out every 90 days. So it does become a bit of a hassle, but if you have access to the server, there's a process, and a frequently asked guide takes about 5 minutes to do, just following their directions, and it will install your cert and automatically update it for you every 90 days. And that takes that line off your budget. I did this at my company.
How do you spell it?
You wanna put that in the chat?
Yeah, we'll put it in the chat.
Yeah.
I feel like, Kate, it's funny because so my boyfriend does stuff with servers. He used to work for a company that made installed private servers, and I feel like he's probably laughing at me from the other room about this whole conversation. But appreciate your husband's expertise being provided. It's beyond my my level. There you go. Let's encrypt. Oh, Nonprofit certificate authority. Okay. And this is great because personally, if I heard someone was like, oh, just go to some website to get free encryption service, I'd be a little sketched out about that, but it is
This is-
verified here, folks.
Yeah, this was started by a computer enthusiast to say encryption is free. It should be free and should be easy to do.
Mhm.
And you could go buy a certificate from GoDaddy for $69 to $100 depending on what you need, and even $500 if you need a large breath certificate. But if there's a lot of companies now that are using now Let's Encrypt, public companies, my company too, VoxOx, because it's a line item that we don't need a budget, and it makes it easy. I don't have to think about security for the web page in regards to SSL anymore. So
Awesome.
it's something to look into, and if you're lost, find someone who knows a little bit about computers to help you. But their guides are fairly easy. And you can also, if you have hosted website services, you can ask their customer support if they support Let's Encrypt, because sometimes they'll have it built in,
Mhm.
and so that way you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. And again, folks, this is recorded, so if you want to go back and review, you can. Let's see here. Chiwu said, okay, yeah. And I think we're almost done with this, so we'll do announcements from clubs as well soon. But did anyone have any other questions or anything that they want to, comment, share? Not. I think that was it. Again, reminder, Council Club's link tree, linktr.ee/demclub. That has like everything Council Clubs related linked on there. Again, reminders, as folks are moving back to in-person or hybrid meetings, you need to provide the location and the link to the party for the calendar. Oh, Kate, I see your hand is up.
I had a question about rechartering, but
Yes.
I can wait.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So as I build my list of club members, because we went from having like just enough to get chartered last time to this year we have a lot more, but we have a lot of people, like we asked the question, is this your home club? Or have you asked, or have you made another club your home club? Or are you not sure? I have a bunch of not sures. How do I mark them in my report? Or do you guys just assign based on need?
The latter is my understanding. So I don't actually go through all the charting stuff myself. That party staff does that. I don't think there's even a, so here, let me remember template here. That one can work. Hold on one second, trying to find the link to the roster template. Why is that not working? Hold on. I just did this like yesterday to make sure the link worked, and now it's not working. There we go. Okay. We'll have to make sure that that works now, but so this is the member roster template that the party wants you to use. So you see ask first, last, address, phone. You don't need a home cell and work for everyone. If you just have one.
You have a blank screen for me. Can anybody else?
Really?
Yeah, it's
No.
showing blank for me.
Oh, maybe I need to reshare and share specifically this. Hold on.
Yeah, mine's blank too.
Was it blank the whole time or just now?
No, I think it popped up a new window, so you have to share the new window.
I thought I was sharing my whole desktop, which is why I was
There we are.
So you can see this is the template the party wants you to use. It asks for member name, address, phone. You don't need all three types of phone. Email, and then confirming that they are a Democrat or not, if because you can have non-voting members that aren't Dems. Member type, this is for club use. I don't think it's important. District, there's not so chartering. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what they
Chartering.
mean by that. So
I
let
think
me-
it's a moot point at this point because they were looking at trying to limit voting to home, like if you had designated a home club. But I think that's a moot point now.
so
No, the stacking is still a thing.
so let me
Yeah,
let me
but I
answer
don't think you can have bylaws. You can't exclude people. That's the point.
Yeah, so okay, let me address this a bit. Okay. The only time the county party cares if someone is chartered with multiple clubs or not is when you have a club, a new club that's trying to charter, and you need to have 20, so you need 20 members to charter, right? They don't need to be unique to you. They don't need to designate you as your home club to charter. However, for a club that wants to get an associate vote, for your first associate vote, you need to have 20 unique members. That means you need 20 clubs to say, this is my club that I'm choosing as my, some people call it home club, primary club, whatever. It doesn't even need to be your favorite club. It's just saying, I want to count myself to help this club charter, so I am, I've been young Dems. I'm also on the board of the University City Dems,
So
right?
sorry,
Somebody's
Cody.
typing.
I'm having a
Yeah.
hard time hearing you. There's a couple
Oh.
people unmuted.
Guys, folks, can you mute yourself? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mute everyone. Thank you.
Cody, now you're
Oh
muted.
my gosh, I know, I literally just noticed that you said it. Okay, folks, thanks, Kate. And folks, if you have a question, you can unmute and let me know. But otherwise, just stay muted so that we don't cross stuff. I say as I'm now wiping up the drink I just spilled next to my laptop. But okay, so let me just restate that because I'm not sure if folks heard or not. If you are trying to charter a club, either for the first time or I guess in general, you need a minimum of 20 members. They don't need to be unique to that club to charter. However, if you are trying to get your first associate vote at whatever area caucus you're a part of, you need to have 20 unique members, or at least 20 members to say, I'm, chartering with this club, count me for this one, not other ones, basically. And this is to avoid that concern that has come up about, club backing, splitting, whatever, where some folks, were concerned about there being a lot of small clubs that had a lot of the same members. And this is just to make sure that, it's fair, and, nothing like that's going on where people can just charter the same people with different clubs to get extra votes. Okay? So once you hit that threshold to get one associate member having at least 20 unique members, or whatever, you don't need to worry about it after that. It doesn't matter. If you want to get an additional associate vote in other areas, like for the countywide clubs, they don't need to be unique. You can have 20 members in each area, and you can have an associate in each area. They don't need to be unique, or they don't need to be designating your club as their home club. Oh, and what I was saying before was, so I am president of the Young Dems Club. I was prior president and still on the board of the University City Dems. So one might think, oh, if I'm president of the Young Dems, I would want my name to be counted toward Young Dems for chartering purposes, but I don't need to because we have enough members, whereas University City Dems is a smaller club, so they need my name more. And you don't need to, self-select out people that you think are, oh, they're going to list. Why? Sorry, there's like a weird pop-up on my screen. There we go. You don't need to self-select out people because the party itself will take a look and see, okay, this club, has only 20 members or 22 or whatever. We can count these people toward this one, since the other clubs that they're listed on chartering for, it doesn't matter because they have plenty of members, right? So I just want to clarify that. I don't worry too much about that. Are they home primary club or not? It's not a big deal. I will say this comes up more when every 2 years, the state party, CADEM, has a sort of chartering process. If you want to get votes in the pre-endorsement process for state assembly, state senate, and Congress, because then it's 1 vote per 20 unique members. You might remember, I think that came up, when was that? I guess, was it last year or early this year? I don't remember, but it's every 2 years when they go through the endorsement process. So that one for the state party, that's optional to even bother with it. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but that one is one where it generally matters more. For the county party, you don't really need to worry about it. Does that make sense? Hopefully.
Can I just ask one quick clarifying question? When we have our first 20 for our voting member, which is great. Are subsequent groups of 20 required to be in the areas that we vote in, or can they be any 20 additional members?
No, they need to be in the areas you vote in. So say, I
Okay.
don't know what your club is, but say, for Young Dems.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, okay. So for Young Dems, I was like, we have our associate vote in the Metro West, right? We have most of our members there. And if we wanted to get a vote in the South area, we need to submit to the party and confirm that we have at least 20 members in the South area. It doesn't matter if they are on other clubs' chartering lists or not. It just needs to be 20. And once you reach that 20 and they verify it, then you get an additional associate. You can do that for each area.
So it's not 20 unique, it's just 20 altogether.
Correct, for the additional
Fabulous.
associates.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. That was I was like, oh my gosh, 20 unique for every area. That's going to be a challenge.
No, that's a lot.
We're just excited that we got 50 paid memberships, like as of last week. That was thrilling to us.
Awesome. Yeah. And okay, I will preface this. I'm pretty certain after a lot of experience reading and helping with bylaws, if I said something here that's wrong, that doesn't override the bylaws. I'm just going to preface that right now, but I'm pretty sure of everything I've stated. Don't sue me. Okay, anyone else have any questions? Again, I mean, I was planning to go through this more next time or see if we can have party staff. And I think that would still be useful to go over some of the other chartering stuff, but that's the plan for part of our October meeting. We also are going to be having a review of Robert's Rules and Parliamentary Procedure by our friend Doug Case at our next meeting as well. The last time we had one of these was a couple years ago. I do have his prior presentation linked on the Dem Club's link tree at the bottom if anyone ever wants to review, but you know, we have a lot of new folks involved in clubs in the last couple of years, so I think a refresher would be helpful. Oh, what was it? Oh, hold on, let me reshare my screen because I have a couple more slides here just for the meeting. Yeah, again, returning, if you're having in-person or hybrid meetings, send the location and the link to the party if you don't already have access to edit your calendar item. I'm not going to go through all that right now. There is a recording in one of our recent was our May meeting on YouTube where I go through that. So take a look at that if you want to. And again, 2 weeks ahead, you should be sending that out to the party as well as your members. I think that's it. So we're going to go into other club announcements. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up the timer. We're going to allow 1 minute each, and you can raise your hands. And if you have your video on, I can spotlight you. I will try to spotlight you. If you don't want to have your video on, that's fine though. You don't have to. I'm going to share my screen. Everyone should be able to see this 1 minute timer. Is Chiwu still on? Oh, Meryl, so the council clubs meetings are generally third Saturday of every month. We did have to change it couple times early this year. Like we change it if there's like a big holiday or democratic event or stuff that we know people aren't going to make, but the regular meeting date is the third Saturday of the month. And you can find that also on the Dem Club's, the party website, where you can see the calendar of all the club events and all the party events on sddemocrats.org. Okay, so who's first in the party? 1 second. Why am I? Oh, there we go. Okay, first I see Nadia's hand. So whenever you're ready.
Hello, everyone. I'm sure you're not all on our list, but I just wanted to bring up the fact that we lost a long-term member that was very important to us. He was also the deputy attorney for the city of Chula Vista, Simone Silva, and he's having his funeral and burial today. The funeral mass will be at 2 p.m. at St. Rosalima, and the burial will be at 4 with an immediate celebration of life. If you are open, if you could come, that would be great. I'd appreciate it. Second, I'm hoping that we can all get on board and possibly put a policy towards Central Committee about prioritizing having the voting members be exactly like Central Committee, where just the elected member gets a vote and not their backup. If you'd like to sign on to that, please get together with me. We have some people already signed on. Thank you.
Thank you. Resetting the time, lowering your hand. Linda, whenever you're ready.
Yes, I'd just like to say Demco has been very fortunate over the years to be able to donate a significant amount of money to our endorsed candidates. And we spent almost $10,000 this election season. There's an article in Coast Report looking at the money spent and the money taken in and many of the local by many of the local candidates, and Demco was in the top contributor category for most of those candidates. So we're very proud that we can do that. And by the way, we're having a fundraiser next Saturday from 10 to 12 at the in Carlsbad. If you're interested, go to our website, demco.org. And I want to give a shout out to Ann Crosby, our fundraising chair, has done an absolutely fabulous job. Thank you.
Since I already have it up, I'll just go ahead and I can. Here we go. There's that one. I'm really sorry. There's something weird going on with my mouse. Okay. My mouse keeps like flickering and I'm having issues pressing buttons. So my apologies in advance for that as I attempt to continue maneuvering this. 1 second. Meryl, I see your hand raised in your video. So I actually was going by hand raised in the participants tab. I don't know if you know how to do that, but if you click participants, if you go back to the participants tab, there should be a button for you to raise your hand. Since I saw you, I'll call on you, but for anyone, I might not see your video because I'm not viewing all the video at the same time. So bear with me. So Meryl, so next on my list, I have Chiwu, Danny, and then Meryl. So give me 1 second. Oh my gosh, my mouse is like, okay. There we go. All right, whenever you're ready.
It's my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, my name is Chi Wu Chen. I'm the president of Carlsbad Democrats, and we are co-hosting an event. When I say we, it's not our club alone. So it's API Dam Club, Carlsbad Dam Club, and the Oak Tree Dams and North County Young Dam going co-host an event for Katie Porter on October 12th, 6 p.m. It's going to be by Zoom. We're kind of surprised she accepted our invitation, but we see her as a voice of progressive wing of the Democratic Party. So we are delighted to have her join us to have an open discussion. And if you're interested, send me an email. I share the information in the chat. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, give me a second. Oh my goodness. Okay. There we go. Okay. Let me, okay, maybe I'm just gonna, sorry, that my mouse is like freaking out right now and it's very difficult. Let me try closing all these tabs and stuff and see if that anything helps. Makes it very difficult to click on people's names to even start this. So let me.
Sometimes if you pull out the little adapter and plug it back in, it'll reset your mouse and everything will work fine.
Still going. It's like on my screen that it's flickering. So when I try to hover over something to click it, it like can't decide if it's actually hovering or not. It's the problem. Because it happens with the mouse, the trackpad on my computer as well, not just my touch mouse. So I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Bear with me, folks. Okay, next I have Danny and then I have Meryl after. So Danny, whenever you're ready, you're muted. So there you go.
Hey, fellow clubs, how's it going? Danny here from the Downtown Democratic Club. Just wanted to come by and let some of you guys know, unfortunately, we did have one of our members pass away at the beginning of the month. For those of you that know Susie Ditmars, she was a longtime party advocate, Latino supporter of small businesses, She did a lot of work in the community. She was also on our central committee. So we will be having a memorial service for Susie Ditmar's life sometime at the end of the month or at the beginning of next month. Additionally, just to kind of mention some other stuff that is going on with the club is going to be doing is we are going to be holding a voter registration booth tomorrow in Gaslamp. If for those of you that are interested in joining us, please reach out to me at the sddowntowndems.org. I'm sorry, yes, sddowntowndems.org. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If you could lower your hand, I'm struggling here. Meryl, whenever you're ready, just make sure you unmute.
Okay,
right.
starting September, I'm sorry, yeah, September 30th, October 1st and October 2nd, La Mesa Democrats are having a booth at the La Mesa City Oktoberfest. We are having volunteers from all over the place come help us. We are also having candidates at our booth so that the public can meet them. I'm posting a schedule so that people can come up when they are, a particular candidate is there. So please stop by if you are in our area. The dates again are September 30th, and that's from 4 to 10. Saturday is from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and then Sunday is 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Please come join us. We're also going to be doing registration and it should be a lot of fun. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. I don't see her on here anymore. Shayna Tiger, who is with the University City Dems, but I know that and she works for Congressman Peters' campaign. I know that they are doing voter registration at UCSD tomorrow, I believe, as well. If anyone's interested in that. And I am planning to be there. So let's see. Okay, yep. Anyone else have any others? I don't see any other hands raised in the participants tab, but I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. And my mouse is still freaking out. I don't know. Are you right there, Meryl?
Oh, I beg your pardon. I thought I was muted. I beg your pardon. That's it.
No, yeah, it's all right. I just want to make sure you're okay there. Okay. If that's it, then that's the end of our meeting. Again, the plan is for our next meeting in October to be on the regular third Saturday, which is a little bit early because October 1st is a Saturday, so October 15th at 10 a.m. Again, you can see this on the party calendar as well. Look forward to seeing you all then. You know, Sonara and Michelle, we're missing most of our committee, so I don't, you know, we'll have a dev meet today, but if you have anything here, feel free to let me know. But otherwise, thanks everyone. We'll see you next month. Bye.
Okay, so Cody, we're not meeting. I'm sorry. There was a,
Yeah, I don't
okay,
think
sounds good. No, I don't have anything. So thank you.
I don't
Talk
have
to you
any
next.
either. Okay, talk to you next month.
thanks. Bye.
Bye.